I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Working the week away.
Yeah.
Selling my wares.
Yeah.
You?
Pretty much the same. Not selling myself like you do, but
I think
working.
you do.
I kind of sell myself.
You do. You're on the radio. You sell yourself.
Well, that's quite a good way of leading into what we're here to talk about today, really, is what we do.
Yeah.
And who are we? Because we've never introduced ourselves formally to the world. So I suppose that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a radio presenter. That's what I have done.
You've been one for years.
In my career. So that's what I do. That's what I like to do. It's my little thing. And that's me. And I'm a mum, 2 kids, and I like to play about on the radio.
You've been in the radio for some time. On the radio.
Yeah. I have, actually. Local radio, local commercial radio.
Eagle.
Never BBC. Never, ever.
I always thought you were destined for that. I still think you are.
Well, the funny thing is about that is they're so very different. They're so polar opposite. Local commercial radio is very, very different to the BBC, because some people would say the BBC is a little bit parochial, and local commercial radio is a little bit rubbishy, not very serious, that kind of thing. No, I don't know. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah. So Eagle Radio.
Eagle Radio was where I started. Well, no, I didn't actually. It was County Sound. Then it was Radio Mercury. County Sound Radio, the one and only one for you.
Yeah.
That got taken over in the early 90s by Radio Mercury. And that's where I came in, really. I came in as a receptionist to start with, selling like fluffy bugs and pom-poms and T-shirts and stuff.
So how did you get your break when they went... How did you go from receptionist to having a go on the microphone?
So I had studied at college and I'd got a job via that experience. Once in at that level, though, as a receptionist, I didn't really think beyond that. And then all I was doing was, in those days, local theatre, like the Yvonne Arnaud and other theatres around the area, would often have really famous like actors doing plays, and they would come to talk about the run. So they would come in to publicise it in person. And this is going back to
going back to...
well, the early 90s, you wouldn't get that now in a local radio station. You really wouldn't get
it's
Jeremy Irons, for example, who came in to talk about a play. And I was like,
no, you wouldn't get that.
Oh, my God.
You wouldn't get that.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
We'd get Alan Titchmarsh now.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Because he is the saint of... Or you've corrected me a couple of times on this.
He's the patron of...
He's the patron of the Isle of Wight.
You said he was patron saint of Isle of Wight.
But does that mean he's dead?
He's not canonised. No, I don't think you necessarily have to be dead to be a saint, to be canonised. But I do think you need to be something to do with religion.
Right. I don't think he is.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I may be wrong. I might be talking out of my arse as usual. But I was selling fluffy bugs and T-shirts and making tea and coffee for famous actors and guests and so on. And then and setting them up with interviews. I was taking the phones and helping with little competitions in the studio. And more and more, I was spending more and more time in the studio with the presenter and chatting with him. And then our chats would be on air, and then people, I don't know, it just kind of took off a little bit. And he said, do you want to just come in for this bit and come in for it? And more and more he was saying, can you stick around and just wait? And then eventually I got a job doing the graveyard shift, the late night show.
Partridge.
It was literally like that. It was just to give me a go, to try me out. And it was not successful. No, because I find I'm much better when I'm bouncing off someone else.
Yeah, and also... Graveyard shift. I mean, it's a weird demographic. Was it people?
It's a tough one.
End of shifts.
Night shift workers, truckers,
ghosters.
That kind of thing. Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. I was on my own in the studio.
That's got to be hard. Couldn't do that on my own and talk. Just like what we're doing now, but without a partner.
No, it was a bit weird.
I can do that.
And also, I was a bit sort of under pressure, and I thought it was a really big deal. Anyway, that all moved on, and eventually I just started producing. Instead, I thought, I can't do this. So I was producing shows and helping with that and writing scripts and things. And that went on quite well for quite a while. Did that for lots of shows, and the Eagle launched, and I was presenting the travel news on Eagle Breakfast with Peter Gordon, and then... And then I went off and did the Flying Eye because I got an offer to go and do that down in Portsmouth, Southampton, and I was doing the little plane for 2 years.
So that was Pippa up in the Piper?
It was a Piper Warrior, yeah.
Pipper up in the Piper.
Yeah.
Daily. I
Flying
remember
around,
that. I remember
flying
that.
around, yeah. Doing the travel news. That was great. That was a good job. Just flying about 2,000 feet above the ground, looking at the motorways, telling everyone what was going on.
Yeah.
And then you'd land at about 9 and your day was your own, pretty much. I'd do showbiz news and I'd go and interview people and then write showbiz news and record a piece that would go out.
So that's not viable now. They don't fly every day now.
They don't do that at all. That's a complete waste of money. It cost about £64,000 a year to do that little gimmick. It was a real 80s, 90s gimmick for radio stations back in the day. They thought it gave it some kind of kudos to have something like that, and it was a complete waste of money, really, really. I mean, it was because it was Capital Radio Group.
And a lot less radio stations out in those days, isn't there?
Oh yeah, exactly. It was a lot more of a gimmick, and it made it different. A lot less radio stations. Capital was a big group in its day, but now it's just. But
you scroll through them, and there's so many radio stations. And if you drive about a bit, which is what I do for work, you hit loads of other radio stations. There's so many,
but they're all the same.
Yeah, they're just
because they're all owned by the same group. Unfortunately, there's not many. There's some massive players now that just own all of the stations, and they kind of have made them very generic.
Just too many adverts.
Yeah, I know. Really bad, really bad. That was always a problem.
You push to get a song without advertising something.
Oh, I know. If I had it my way.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yep. But then babies came along. I did my own shows and stuff for different radio stations in between doing that. But then it was, once you've had babies, you have to really, I don't know, it never is the same. And your salary goes down because you can never do as many hours or, I don't know, some women just go back. I went back full time to start with. The second baby, I couldn't do that. I just felt different. I felt like I needed to be there more. And I don't know, gradually I took a break and the jobs just started to dry up. And now I'm working again, but it's on a more sort of low-key level. I do it all from home. And it's nice. But that's my thing. It's my little passion. I love to do it.
It keeps you in.
It keeps me in.
It keeps you in.
Exactly. Keeps your little sort of geriatric toe in the water.
In the water or in the door.
Exactly. In the door,
Good
slightly.
point. I think water with me because I'm from sales.
Why?
No,
door for you. A salesman's got a foot in the door. Or you'd be a bailiff. You could be a good bailiff.
No, I would be a bad bailiff. I'd feel sorry for people all
You
the
would.
time.
I know you would struggle with that.
I would really struggle.
You have a lot of empathy for people, don't you?
I couldn't do that.
How did you get into sales then? Because it is pretty cutthroat.
Just dodgy startings, really. I started in a boat shop selling outboard spares. And a guy came in and I sold some oil for a jet ski and ended up selling him a jet ski and realised I really liked selling.
You got a buzz. You got a little sort of like
it was a real buzz. A real buzz.
Right.
Quick story on that one because I did tell you this earlier on, but we didn't want to talk about it because I wanted to see how we would react. There was a guy there called John, and he used to try and pose, and he'd turn up to work. He was my boss, but he'd turn up to work trying to look as cool as he could, and he'd have these like chinos on, espadrilles, a bad shirt, a bad leather jacket, and we nicknamed him Naff Bridges.
What sort of leather jacket? Are we talking about one of those blouson kind of 80s baggy leather jackets or something else?
No, to be fair, it was a bit more fitted. It looked like it should have like a revolver tucked in the side with Clint Eastwood wearing it.
Oh, that kind of thing.
It didn't look good on him.
It wasn't
like
a good Bullet or something.
Exactly like that. That's a cool version.
That's cool. Yeah, he's cool.
But he just sort of missed the mark every time. So we used to call him Naff Bridges. But he had an issue with pronunciation of specific words, and one of them was aluminium. Aluminium. And he couldn't say it. So we would take it upon ourselves to go into another room, ring him, and ask for a price on a propeller. And ultimately, one of those questions would be, would you like it stainless or aluminium?
Oh no!
So he would go, you want a price on a 13-inch for a Yamaha outboard motor? And we'd be going, yes please, pretending with somebody else. And he'd go, is that stainless steel or Ali? And I'd go, sorry, Ali. And he'd go, and then he'd lean into the phone and go, aluminium, because he couldn't pronounce aluminium properly.
Oh, you're joking!
I know, and he really did used to struggle with it. So we'd just walk around for weeks after that, walking in going, aluminium, which used to inevitably probably ended up me being sacked from there.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
understandable, really. He could have just tried to think of a different way of saying it that was still acceptable, like aluminum.
Or Ali, but we teased it out of him.
Yeah, Ali.
It's It just, I don't know why. He didn't have a speech impediment. He just couldn't say aluminium.
He struggled, and he'd be building up to it and anticipating it and everything.
You get a fear of it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it was just specific words. What other words were there then?
Well, EAMS, I'm assuming, but I didn't capitalise on that.
EAMS.
I should have capitalised on there and gone in for a bit more. But that was the introduction to sales, and then I just went from there to different companies selling boxes, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
boxes? What, cardboard boxes?
Well, just boxes. It's called box shifting. If you sell a fax machine, it's in a box for a profit.
Right.
And empathy is the main ingredient, but I don't know. I struggle with.
Is it though? Empathy, or is it something else?
People buy people. I think you need to like people, and you need to be liked, and you want to feel to be liked. But rejection is no good thing.
No.
I get a lot of rejection.
How do you take rejection?
You just got to have thick skin, but I think it builds up, and you think, You
get a thick hide.
You do get a thick hide.
Where are you thickest?
In my hide.
In your back?
Yes, you do. You're right. You become a bit resilient, but it's still.
Yeah.
I'm 50 next year, and I still don't know what I want to do.
Well, this is the thing. I know. You think, is this it?
When I grow up, I want to be. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, did you ever know? Because some people don't know, do they? And that's okay.
No, I don't think I did. So yeah, if that's okay, that's good.
Yeah, you're allowed to just, some people only know what they're going to do when they're little, when they grow up, because someone's told them they're going to be that, or they've put them on that path, or they've got them to the right school, or blah blah blah. Yeah. And academically, you're being groomed, if you like.
You are, and it's interesting how sons and daughters follow in father
sons and daughters. Sorry, I just really needed to do that.
That's the fourth gin, is that you're on at the moment?
Just the second. That's a bit worrying.
No, because I think the first one was a double.
Oh God.
Sons and daughters follow in father and mother's footsteps. A lot of them.
True. I think that's true. All my siblings, both my brothers and my sister, they're all teachers.
Okay. Who was your mum a teacher?
No.
Was your dad a teacher?
No. But they are my dad's very academic, and they all kind of strive to be something of an academic.
You could have been a teacher.
But I'm not.
Yeah, but you could have been. I could imagine you as an English teacher.
Could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been reasonable at that. I was good at reading and writing. Shit at maths. Terrible.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I got an A in math.
What?
I did.
You're joking. O-level?
Absent.
Well, at least you
didn't
even get that. You didn't even show up.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
Up. Did you?
I showed up for the exam, wrote my name down, did the whole thing. It's not as if I even just, did nothing. I did the exam and I still got ungraded at CSE. And my dad, I remember him saying, do you know what? That actually takes some doing.
Really?
That fat's off, because I don't know how you manage that. Because I'm just shit at it. I'm just so shit at maths. I have no... It's almost...
School fails us.
Yeah, well...
In a way.
School
failed me.
Yeah. I think it doesn't realise... People will fall through the net because some need more. And they're at the wrong school, that's all. You were at the wrong school. I was.
Yeah. I was at the one that you had to turn up with every day.
You actually were just turning up to the wrong school every day?
I left as soon as possible. You weren't supposed to be there? No. Yeah.
You were supposed to be at the one up the road?
It was all girls.
James Brooker? No, he's not here. Oh, he's a terrible student.
He's not been here since 83. So I left as soon as possible, didn't do the exams, walked into a company called Conmec in Shearwater that sharpened blades that go in bread slicing machines in bakers. It was a death trap.
Ooh.
People were cutting and lopping off things constantly.
Oh no.
There was a guy that I was working with lost the top of his finger. And then at my third week of earning £58 a week, one of the blades flipped off and took the top of my little finger off.
Bloody hell.
And
was there loads of blood spewing out?
Yeah, fountain.
Ow.
And then they sort of stitched the top back on and then said, oh, you know, you can sit at home for 2 weeks and you'll get paid. And I then looked across the factory floor and there were people there sitting there eating lunches that had been there for 25, 30 years. And it was just so...
What, the lunches had been there for 25,
Yeah, they might
30
as well have been. It was
yeah.
a depressing sight.
Great. Oh, no.
And then I walked into Guildford iTech with a bandage on and said, look, I've not been enlisted on any of your programs. I said, but I do not want to work in a factory for the rest of my life. Please help me. And this one woman, I can't remember her name, took pity on me and signed me on a IT course, which started me wearing collars to work, if you like.
Right. Okay.
Rather than dungarees.
You would have looked nice in dungarees.
No, I wouldn't.
Like Rod, Jane and Freddie, like kind of, you'd have looked like someone from Rainbow.
Trog. Yeah.
Oh, well, so you'll never know really where that could have taken you because you didn't stick that one out.
What, sharpening the bread knives?
Well, you just don't know where it could have gone.
No, I would have definitely been minus at least 3 digits.
Yeah, and you'd have gone slightly mad, even more mad than you are now.
Yeah, 100%.
Stunted creatively and all that.
Yeah.
You know. Well, at least with what you've been doing, it's, I don't know, more of an outlet for your completely twisted mind.
Yeah. You can talk to people and you get paid to talk to people. Let's face it, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. So do you.
So do I. That's the thing. It's funny, you know, because I met someone once in Brighton. It was the boyfriend of I was hanging around in Brighton a lot of the time because I was getting married to a man from Brighton. And his friends, you know, hadn't met me and they were chatting to me and we got to know each other. And anyway, they found out I was a radio presenter. And one of them said, you know, this weird, I would never have said that was your profession. I really wouldn't have put you as a radio presenter. And I'm like, why? He said, well, you're very shy, aren't you? You're quiet. And I'm like, yeah, because every time I do it, every time I go on and I put the mic up, I'm completely challenging myself. I'm completely out of my comfort zone. Completely. And also, I feel like I'm finally talking, even though there's no one there really, that actually someone's listening.
Yeah.
Whereas usually, I feel like no one's really listening.
Yeah.
God, that's a bit depressing, isn't it?
It is, but you're right though.
I'm not sad. I'm not like, or anything like that.
But if it was easy when you switched it on every day to go and do it, would there be fun there? Would you want to do it? If you were not on edge, there's that little buzz, isn't there?
You need a little bit of that. And I think it's the same with any job that requires you to put yourself out there, like the sales. Yeah. You're literally putting yourself out there. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know how it's going to go.
No. You don't know what mood you've caught somebody in. You know really that more times than not, they could probably do without you being there.
They could. And there's every reason why they could say, you know, look, no. And so you just
I just bribe people. That's the way to do it.
You take biscuits.
I take biscuits and
You do, don't you?
Buy lunches and drinks and cheese suppers.
You must spend a lot on biscuits.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Whatever works. Yeah. But that's what we do. And I guess that's kind of it. I'm so used to it now. And I love it and it's fun. I always used to say whenever it stops being fun, that's when I'll stop doing it. And it did stop being fun for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting back into it again.
See, I'd like to say that about my profession, but if I did do that, then I'd be homeless within about 3 months.
I know, you can't.
So I have to do it.
I know.
It's just try. I have had a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs.
Yeah. Do you think you get, it's not that you get bored, it's just there's a bit of that.
Yeah.
But it's usually something to do with relationships. And
I love interviews.
You just do well in interviews, don't you?
I love interviews, yeah. They're very nerve-wracking, and it's like a 3-stage process nowadays. But
yeah. Do you think you should have been an actor?
I don't know. I think it's a good question. I think I would suffer from nerves too much. I'd like to method
We just covered that one off. Yes, you would, but that's why you'd be doing it.
We covered it, but we haven't ticked it off, have we?
Yes, covered off.
In a way, yes. I would love to be a good actor.
Yeah, I think you should have done.
I would have loved to have been a good actor.
The nerves, I think possibly the kind of actor that doesn't go on the stage, but like a TV or movie actor.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to tread the boards. That would be too draining. Because you've got to be the same person every night, whereas...
Yep, I did panto, and sometimes I had 3 shows a day, and they're draining, they're full on.
How can you be as enthusiastic show 3?
You're not. So the first show would be a matinee for the bids. So in they'd come, all the old folk, and they'd be sitting at the front in their wheelchairs and so on. And this would be at about 10:30 in the morning.
Blimey.
And you're singing a whole new world like that, and doing loads of like shenanigans. Keith Harris and Orville were running around on the stage, full on music, full on outfits. At 10:30 in the morning, it's ridiculous. Then you go and have a little break, have some lunch. Then everyone comes in for the afternoon.
How long's the show?
That was a couple of hours at least.
Hats off to you for that. Third show and that day. 3
shows, that was rare. That didn't happen all the time. But 2 shows a day, afternoon and evening, 2:30 and sort of 7:30 or something. So you spend the day, you're in your dressing room, you'd pop out to get food, you'd be in there eating and just,
Fisting Orville.
Fisting Orville. Spent a lot of time fisting Orville.
Yeah. Did you ever go on Orville?
I had a go on Orville. I was very privileged because it was only me and Keith that got to have a go on Orville.
Yeah.
And I saw Cuddles as well. I hate that dog.
Yeah.
And Orville was in the dressing room. But what's so weird is you go in there. I was like, just looking for Keith. Keith, do you mind if I and I looked and there's not one. There's like 3 or 4 Orvilles lined up on the
what, because they're dressed
banquette
differently
or whatever, the little sofa thing he's got in there.
Banquette.
That's what it's called, a banquette.
Is it? Are they're dressed differently?
They've all got their neat little outfits on for different scenes, you know.
Now, dare we go into Dead or Alive?
No, he's dead.
Is he? Right,
yeah,
okay.
Poor Keith. Yeah, he is.
Unlike Dickie Davis.
Unlike Dickie, who is very much alive and well.
Yeah.
I don't know what became of Orville or Cuddles. I don't know what they're doing
Probably
now.
worth a tidy sum now.
Where are they? Who's looking after them?
Yeah,
who's taking care of
They're
Orville?
in a box somewhere, aren't they?
I hope not. I hope they're living their life out somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, without Keith. I wonder who inherited them.
Family.
Definitely.
But so that acting like that would be.
You'd have a great time.
Nightmare.
So my mum and dad, back in the day, right, in the 70s when I was growing up, they were doing amateur dramatics.
Right.
And we would, they were members of the local amateur dramatic society. The Road and Record, no, what was it? We had Ottershaw Players and, what was the other one? Forgotten what it's called now. I can't believe that. It'll come back to me in a minute. And I got into a few of those as well. And I was in a production of A Christmas Carol. And I played Sarah Cratchit, who is the daughter of, the story of A Christmas Carol. Bob Cratchit, who works for Scrooge.
Yeah.
And my little brother, Tim, played Tiny Tim. And his big line at the end, God bless us, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Who gets flicked the sixpence? Go and buy the biggest turkey you can find in the shop.
Some random kid running onto the stage and off again. I think it was a goose. Was it a turkey?
But then a lot of good actors have history from stage, don't they?
They say it's their real passion and everything.
Yeah.
There's something brilliant about it. It was fun. Yeah, you have nerves, but the second you're on, it was completely different.
Yeah.
You'd love it, I think. I think you'd get a massive buzz from it. But I know you'd probably be like buzzing for ages. It's quite hard to come down after a show like that. They live kind of twilight existences. Actors have to come off and, you don't get to sleep till, it's you have to rest quite a lot.
No, just do a box set then, or a film.
Yeah,
maybe.
just churn out a box set. Killing Eve or something.
Yeah. Ozark. Fantastic.
You'd be good.
I'll have a go.
I could see you doing that. We should get you into that. Maybe if we go visual and let people see what you look like, maybe you'll get a gig.
I've got the perfect face for radio.
No.
I would give it. I think the auditions would be nerve-wracking, but then all I've got to do is treat them like an interview for a sales job.
That's how you do it. Yeah. And you love all that, and you. Well, I've watched like auditions that really famous actors have done on YouTube. I saw Tom Hanks's audition for Forrest Gump the other day.
Yeah.
That was weird, and even he looked nervous and awkward. So I don't think it ever goes.
And no one else could do that.
No.
No one else could play Forrest Gump apart from him.
Nope. I'd love to be an actress. I would have loved that. Also, I would have liked to have read the news as well.
Kate Adie style.
could still do. We can still do all of this, you know. Kate AD, great lady, Kate AD.
You could, yeah. And news probably wouldn't be. It's too. You got to be too well behaved, and I would struggle with that.
Yeah, I know you would, but you don't know half of it, right? Peter Sissons, God rest his soul, he passed away recently.
Did he?
He was a real joker behind the scenes, off air. When the credits were rolling, I've seen some bloopers, and he was a shocker. Now you know what we do. Anyway, we've talked about what we do for a living.
Yeah.
We've started wandering off into what we prefer to be doing for a living, but doesn't everyone? That is kind of what happens at the end of the day. And we are also knocking on the door of 50, and that's kind of midlife crisis.
I think we should delete that.
Okay.
On the 50s. Oh, sod it. Why not?
Delete what? The fact that we're going to be 50?
Yeah.
Why, are you worried now no one's going to get you to do any box sets?
Yeah, I'm never going to get any acting work.
You're going to get any work if you tell them how old I am.
I haven't heard from my agent for 3 months.
I'm 35, I tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, next time we're going to do some wind-up phone calls as well.
Okay. And some more shit about...
Yeah, lots more. Oh, loads of shit.
Actually, I need to go and have a shit.
Fuck's sake.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God. Keep that, Rich. I want to put that on.